This is Fireball Shooting Gallery. I'm Al Stoller, the creator of this, and what I have here are my propane-powered tennis ball cannons.
This is what was on offer at the World's Fair Nano, held in San Francisco this January. The city's last World Fair was in 1939, but this followed on the tradition of being a showcase for new technology innovation and hosting industry leaders. In the past, the World's Fair played home to Edison and Tesla. Here we had the CEO of Indiegogo, venture capitalists and neuroscientists. Time for a brief history lesson. The first World's Fair was held in London in 1851, called the Great Exhibition. World's Fairs were a chance for the general public to eyeball new technology and for different countries to show off their innovation. Some fairs with different themes. They hosted luminaries that included Walt Disney, Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison, and showed off new architecture such as
the two largest bridges in the world, symbolizing both pioneer vision and modern courage in the conquest of space and time.
But after a rebrand as World Expos, they fell out of fashion. The last one held in the States was in 1984. But now, like Dr. Dre and the Libertines, they're trying to make a comeback. In San Francisco, the World's Fair was divided by categories: tech, art, food, and sports. For future art, there were flashing structures and people wearing morph suits, because... And some of the tech involved the future of automation, which basically means lots of people trying to look cool on electric skateboards. The future of food featured a lot of Soylent. The chocolate flavour was surprisingly nice, as well as 3D printed pills and a $300 DNA kit that can design you perfectly nutritious meals, just with a saliva sample. There were a number of vendors and some really cool stuff, such as this LED handbag that I was pretty mesmerised by. Here's the story.
So I'm a techie, like to tinker, and my wife's a fashionista. So she asked me to make her an LED handbag, so I did. Just like the prototype for her, and then she took it out and she found it was like this big conversation.
Other items stood out for their uniqueness.
This is augmented reality. It's a meditation app.
I've really never seen anything like that. Then there were the usual suspects, a whole bunch of 3D printed stuff that's not quite consumer ready, and a lot of virtual reality headsets and demos, with people enjoying their exciting, amazing, invisible worlds, and other people enjoying mocking them. The World's Fair Nano was cool, but also a little odd, as it was hard to know just who the intended audience for all this was. It was a mix of things to play with, things in development and companies promoting their products, as well as panels on all sorts of topics. In the words of the organisers, it was described as
leaders from all shapes and sizes speaking on what the future looks like in their respective fields.
But for me, they didn't really help, because panels were so varied, the future of journalism and dating to cannabis and politics, and everybody spoke a lot of hyperbole. It was pretty much buzzword central, for example.
Those are things that are going on right now that I think will change radiology.
And again,
in the future, this will be done by computer algorithms.
It was all encouraging, but kind of vague at the same time. Plus, there was a definite Burning Man vibe, which added to this strange dichotomy of new tech, innovation, and people just kind of wanting to party. But at the end of the day, this was geeks having a good time. And they did a pretty good job for the first World's Fair in over 20 years. This just really made me realize how much the future is already here. And from what was on offer, it's going to be a lot of fun.